state of Missouri moves into the next step of its coronavirus vaccine rollout.
The Vice President and the First Lady hit the road, keying in on messaging around the American Rescue Plan. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House, where President Biden is putting an emphasis on his Help Is Here tour.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The state of Missouri moves to the next step in COVID vaccine distribution. This is KOAM News at 5. The state today moved to Phase 1B Tier 3, which includes workers in the education sector, daycares, critical infrastructure, and others. The Jasper County Health Department has hit the ground running, vaccinating more than 300 people this morning and afternoon. The director says they're ready to get more vaccine into arms.
Even though there are a lot of people that are not vaccinated yet, we are starting to see our clinic scheduling decrease a little bit. So I think by opening this up, it'll allow us to get more people qualified and allow more people into the clinics.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear from the co-owner of a daycare who's excited to be eligible. Between the pandemic and changing social times, many businesses are making changes to keep up, and the newspaper industry is no exception. The Joplin Globe cut back on print editions last year, printing newspapers only 5 days a week. The 2 print days they canceled last year were Saturdays and Mondays. Well, now the Globe has announced it's discontinuing the Sunday print edition in favor of a new weekend paper published on Saturdays.
We feel for any readers who enjoy the Sunday paper. We've always, I grew up reading the Sunday paper as a habit in my household, and but times have changed, and newspapers have to adapt and evolve, and this is a change that we think will be a positive one for readers.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about the changes and why the Globe is making them. Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at the weather. Hi, Doug.
Hey, Dal. It's definitely turned out to be a fairly mild but very windy afternoon, as the backside of this storm system that has given us so much rain over the past several days is starting to push through. But temperature is pretty good. Most of us are sitting into the mid-60s right now, but look how the winds really picked up today. They're out in the south, now in the southwest, and eventually the northwest a little bit later on tonight before they crank back toward the south for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. We do have partly cloudy skies, but again, there are a few thunderstorms in our far northern counties, and that's where they're mainly going to stay as this system kind of rotates out of here. But right behind it, we have another system, which is going to roll in tomorrow night and then heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Through the evening, we'll drop back through the 60s, 50s, eventually into lower 40s. Of course, we're going to look at more rain chances here in just a bit.
All right, catch you then. Thanks, Doug. President Biden today announced that a familiar face is joining his administration to manage the implementation of his nearly $2 trillion COVID relief bill. The announcement comes as various administration officials hit the road to sell the massive package. Reporter Skyler Henry is at the White House with more.
Good afternoon.
President Joe Biden has tapped Gene Sperling to oversee the implementation of his $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan.
100 million shots in people's arms will have been completed within the next 10 days, and 100 million checks in people's pockets in the next 100 days.
Sperling previously served as the director of the National Economic Council under both the Clinton and Obama administrations.
Together, we're going to make sure that the benefits of the American Rescue Plan go out quickly and directly to the American people where they belong.
Monday, the White House also kicked off what it's calling the Help Is Here tour, with top officials fanning out across the country, selling the key points of the American Rescue Plan.
We are going to safely open schools.
First Lady Jill Biden visited a New Jersey elementary school. Vice President Kamala Harris and the second gentleman are spending part of the week in the West, starting in Las Vegas with a visit to a vaccination site.
You all are the heroes of this moment.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg highlighted the vaccine supply chain at a UPS facility in Maryland.
We wanted to make sure to draw attention to the critically important work that goes on before we're even able to get a shot.
Tuesday, President Biden and Vice President Harris will focus on small businesses. The president will head to Pennsylvania while the vice president goes to Denver, Colorado. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The White House says Wednesday's theme is school funding, with First Lady traveling to New Hampshire and the Second Gentleman to New Mexico. On Friday, the President and Vice President are slated to appear together in Atlanta to highlight the stimulus payments. Some Americans have already received theirs by direct deposit over the weekend. The Biden administration is ordering FEMA to help process the surge of unaccompanied children showing up at the U.S. border. This comes as lawmakers on Capitol Hill are blaming each other for the immigration policies in America. The House is expected to debate two immigration bills this week. One would protect so-called dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, and the other would provide legal status for farm workers. The Vatican now says that priests and other Roman Catholic Church ministers cannot bless same-sex unions, and that such blessings are not licit if carried out. The Vatican also decreed that the Catholic Church cannot bless same-sex unions since God cannot bless sin. The announcement comes as religious leaders in some countries, including the U.S., have begun blessing same-sex unions in lieu of marriage. There's growing outrage and concern about women's safety in Britain after the killing of 33-year-old Sarah Everard, who disappeared on her way home late at night. A police officer is charged with kidnapping and murder. Today, London police are being denounced for using force to control a weekend vigil for Everard. Police say the vigil violated COVID lockdown rules. The UK government has called for a review of police tactics used at the vigil. Still ahead, the possible future of home construction.
There's something very different about this house. It was constructed using a 3D printer. I'm Michael George with why builders say it could slash the cost of buying a house.
And next in Health Watch, a mother and her newborn baby are finally headed home after both battled through a severe case of COVID-19. Although smokers face a greater risk of complications from COVID-19, cigarette sales are going up, not down during the pandemic. The number of people seeking help to quit smoking fell 27%. Experts suspect it's because of the stress associated with COVID-19. That's according to a new report from the North American Quit Line Consortium. The smoking cessation group says they got 190,000 fewer calls from smokers than the year before the pandemic. More alarming yet, the sale of cigarettes actually increased after years of decline. Public health experts hope that smokers will again seek to kick their cigarette habits this summer once more people are vaccinated. A Southern California mother and her baby are finally home together this morning today after they both nearly died from COVID-19. Reporter Christine Lazar has more on their emotional reunion.
Yvette Camacho is all smiles under that mask as she wheeled her newborn daughter, Emery, out of the hospital. It marks the end of this family's months-long battle with COVID-19 and the beginning of their life together.
I'm ecstatic. We've been waiting for this moment for quite some time now.
Yvette came to San Antonio Hospital in Upland, California in January with COVID. At just 30 years old, she had no pre-existing conditions other than her pregnancy. She was so sick, she was airlifted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles.
By the time she came to us, she was really struggling.
Yvette was put on a life support system that does the job of her lungs. Her baby needed to be delivered immediately at only 26 weeks.
If she had not come to us, or even if we delayed the transfer for whatever reason, I don't think that unfortunately either her or baby would have survived this.
Yvette was on a ventilator, her body so weak it needed to be paralyzed, so she wasn't aware of the delivery. She woke up a week later. Her only contact with Emery for days was over FaceTime.
The first moments of her life, it's the most bonding time, and I didn't get to experience that.
Yvette was discharged after 18 days. Emery was transferred back to San Antonio Hospital's NICU to be closer to home. 1 month and 2 pounds later, Emery was strong enough to leave the hospital. Both mom and baby are doing well.
It's really a miracle that we both made it. It has changed my perspective.
This new mom says she's going to enjoy every minute of it. Christine Lazar, CBS News.
Doctors at Cedars say it's still being researched why some pregnant women with no pre-existing conditions can get so sick with COVID. It's recommended that pregnant women speak to their doctors about whether they should get the COVID vaccine. Men who experience exhaustion at home or work may be at a greater risk of suffering a heart attack. Researchers in Europe found the risk was even higher for those who were never married, divorced, or widowed due to lack of social support. A new study in the Canadian Medical Association Journal finds older men have a 60% greater risk of death than women. Researchers examined participants in 28 countries and believe smoking and heart disease contributed to these mortality rates. Doug is up next with his complete forecast. And a little bit later, Facebook announces new resources it's offering to get more people signed up for a COVID-19 vaccine.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a windy afternoon for us today, but partly sunny skies across the region behind all the rain that we have seen over the past several days. And if we look at the month so far, about 3¼ inches of rain. Average is just shy of 6 for the year, and for the year we're over 7½ inches of rain. So it's been pretty wet over the past few days, but we have warmed up a bit now that we got some sunshine, temperatures up into the mid-60s across the region, and we finally get to experience the extended evening daylight hours for us tonight, because last night, of course, we had so many clouds. Mid-60s right now, very windy. The winds really picked up late morning as this whole little storm system is rotating to our north. It's right about on top of Topeka right now, so we're on the south side, very windy side, but we're going to continue to have southwesterly winds at about 10 to 20 as we go through the evening hours. Currently outside, 65 west, southwest winds at 24. Of course, gusts are a little bit higher than that. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 60s, 50s, near 40 later on tonight, but at least we're getting partly sunny skies, but thunderstorms in our far northern counties, and then once you head up toward Kansas City, even a couple tornado warnings have popped up on the southeastern side of the Kansas City metro. These are going to stay all north of us, but we're going to have a similar situation with our next storm system where we could have a lower severe threat. But look at this storm system wrapping up over the past couple hours. This has been a huge system. You can see it really extends from western parts of Nebraska all the way down through the southeastern parts of the U.S. Out to the west, there's our next system. San Francisco, Los Angeles, that's the next one that's going to roll toward us as we go through the next couple days. For us this evening, pretty good. It's just going to stay windy. We'll drop back lower 40s for us tonight. So we'll start at about 42. Still kind of breezy throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. Not as breezy as what we are seeing now, but we're going to rise very quickly into the 60s by noon, then a high temp all the way up to 71 during the afternoon. So it's going to be a pretty good day on Tuesday. Then our next storm system will start to roll in. So clouds increase tomorrow night, mainly after midnight. Some scattered showers, even some thunderstorms. Now, earlier in the day or earlier in the day tomorrow, these could be severe out to our west. So some of these could pack a punch tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. They pass on by. Then as we head into Wednesday afternoon, we'll probably get a few scattered pop-up thunderstorms, something we want to watch as we head into Wednesday, because some of those may be a little bit on the strong side. Then we get on the backside of the system, so it's just kind of a cold rain as we head into Thursday morning, and may even mix with a few flakes of snow as we go into Thursday morning, and then turning cooler just a bit for Thursday and Friday. Rainfall amounts, again, this system could produce some decent amounts of rain. A lot of areas, an inch, maybe upwards to 2 inches out of this next storm system. For us tonight, pretty much clear, 42. 71 tomorrow, of course, St. Patrick's Day on Wednesday. Those scattered thunderstorms, and then turning much colder on Thursday, but we do warm up as we head into the weekend.
It's more rain on the way. It's going to be really soggy out there, Doug.
Yeah, it really is. It's already pretty soggy out there.
I guess so. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, as house prices rise, some builders are turning to 3D printers to cut costs. First, though, we honor a local veteran. David Goff served in the U.S. Army from 2004 to 2005. The Riverton, Kansas native was stationed in Iraq, and we salute Private First Class David Goff, a four-state hero. Facebook wants to use its unrivaled reach to help get more people vaccinated against COVID-19. Social media giant today launched a new campaign to help users learn about the new vaccines. That includes information about eligibility and how to register for them. Facebook says the links will show up directly in people's news feeds. A warning from the Better Business Bureau about selfies with the vaccine cards. The BBB says stop posting pictures with your card on social media. That's because the card includes private information like your full name and birth date. Officials say posting the photos can help scammers create and sell phony vaccine cards or even hack your accounts and open a credit card. Prices for new homes are on the rise, but there's a new kind of home going on the market that some say could change that trend. Reporter Michael George introduces us to 3D printed homes.
This ordinary-looking home could lead to a revolution in real estate, not in the design, but how it was built.
You are sitting in a 3D printed 1,900 square foot structure.
Kirk Anderson of construction tech company SQ4D showed us this Long Island model home that was made with a 3D printer.
We should be able to do our part of the build in about 8 days or less.
So what does it mean to print a house? Well, a robot stacks layers upon layers of concrete, literally building from the ground up. SQ4D is constructing a similar residence nearby that's already for sale. The 3-bedroom, 1,400 square foot house is listed for $299,000. Homes of comparable size in the area come with a price tag around $100,000 higher, and often much more. Of course, the printer can't do all the work. It can build about 40% of the structure, and then workers have to do the rest. But even that 40% can drastically lower construction costs.
This process can save you about 20 to 30% on an overall build.
Other home builders are using 3D printers as well. The company Icon in Texas works with nonprofits to provide low-income housing. Mighty Buildings in California offers homes that range from studios to 3 bedrooms. The company's co-founder says doing it in a warehouse gives them flexibility.
We've developed a unique technology. We can print unique geometries. We can do curves. We can do freeform.
SQ4D claims they've already received more than 1,000 offers to purchase the home, a possible indication consumers are ready to accept this new dimension in construction. Michael George, CBS News, Calverton, Long Island.
Seems happiness isn't just a state of mind, it's a place, too, a physical place. According to a recent Wallet Hub study, Fremont, California is the happiest city in the U.S. North Dakota's Bismarck and Fargo came in second and third, respectively. To compile its list, the personal finance site weighed a number of key factors, such as highest income growth, fewest work hours, and adequate sleep. Final check of the forecast next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on Missouri's vaccine rollout plan as they move to the next step. Plus, the state of Oklahoma reports a significant decline in daily coronavirus cases over the last 2 weeks. And lawmakers in Missouri have proposed a bill that would increase the state's gasoline tax. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Russians yesterday set a national record for the tallest pile of pancakes during celebrations of Maslenitsa, a pre-Christian holiday that symbolizes the beginning of spring. Visitors and professional chefs cooked about 1,500 pancakes to build a stack measuring about 11.5 feet in southwestern Siberia. Russian pancakes called blini are an essential part of the holiday's festivities. Attendees also burned an effigy symbolizing the end of winter. No word on how much syrup that many pancakes would require. Doug Hetty, let's have a final look at the weather.
All right, Dow, it's going to stay breezy for us during the evening hours tonight, but partly cloudy skies down to about 42. Tuesday looks great, 71, partly sunny, still a little bit windy, but chances for thunderstorms increase tomorrow night, last into Thursday, and then start to cool back down just a bit by Thursday and Friday.
See you back here at 6. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.